Hi, there's Life Prepper here. And today I'm working on some things. And the question is, should I make and sell my work? I'm going to, hopefully in the future, I'm planning on launching another YouTube channel called Life Prepper not Crappin', Crappin'. Okay. So I make stuff all the time. I was raised up making things. It's just in my nature. I can't help it. My mama did it. My grandmother did it. And I was taught to make things from nothing, from literally nothing. What you would consider scrap, I can turn some kind of artwork into it, from painting to drawing to creating. So, like this here, I'm working on this, and I want to angle it a little bit. You see right here is soda tabs. Now, it takes a lot of time for me to make a medieval style hat, and that's the one that just goes down to the shoulders and over the head with the band. So it's going to take a little bit of time. It takes a lot of these to make. The green rings here are 16 gauge and the gold ones are 20 gauge. Now I make my own rings, and how I do it simply is I use a ink pen or use a paintbrush to roll it, and then I take my snippers to it. I also do a weaving technique, and I make my own rings also. Another thing I do here is this here is a butterfly. I have some hand punches, butterflies, a couple other patterns as well. So I make a variety of things. So I turn just ordinary pieces of paper like this. This here is watercolor paper. And I get in a mood and I create these random patterns. And they don't look like anything. This here is a bleeding technique I use. These are magic markers. And then I got a strainer I use. I turn it upside down sink and I turn it over and I put some water to it. So all the colors will bleed into it. So as you can see right here where they're bled through. I make several different things. I make paper embellishments. I'm working on that as well. From these here are little paper skull embellishment that I make. I have glitters and stuff, different napkins I pick up. So what I do with these here, it takes a little time to make them, but I do have a mold. You can see it's full of glitter. But should I? As I do what I can. Should I make a for my work? And I'm not talking about just craft stuff. I'm not talking about just crafting. I'm not talking about just let me get this painting or anything like that. Here is some of the stuff here. I want to show you something. You see the difference right there? Now this is the difference after I've done glued some of my papers on. You see this right here. This here is all this here. I did some trial runs on making some of these here. This is my first attempt at trial runs of making my molds. You can see here I put a little glitter in it to see how it would do. I want to remove that. The thing about it is the glitter will come out. I'm trying to make some custom molds. I'm making these. When I do start my crafting series, I will go in more detail and show you some of this here. And in these things, now that's basically what I tried on a paper embellishment. I didn't really care much for it. On that one, it's neat, but it's not what I was looking for. And then I have all these, but should I? I am working towards doing maybe a show down the line. Plan on listing some of these items and things here for resale down the line. But it isn't just that. It's just you hear people talking. Well, I don't make a living off craft shows. I can't do it. You just can't do it. You can't do it. You can't do it. You can't do it. I set up at a woodworking shop, whatever. But the thing is, it's different. Like in the flea market time, before a lot of the computer age and all more stuff, more and more people orders offline. To find what you need to make craft items, stuff you either went to hobby shops or you went down to the flea market to find your items you needed and things in that area. Another thing you got to realize to set up flea markets is the natural bickering stage. The bickering stage is at the flea markets. So you want to take your product that you made and you want to make some money off of it to subsidize your income. So one thing you have to do, if you decide you want to do this, you need to make cards up. Just all it is to it. Make cards up with your name and everything on it. You set your pieces out there and to figure your costs in it. Now, you figure I bought my book, my water paper book with so many pages in it. You figure that up. Say you got it on sale for $7. It cost you $7 for a book. And then you got think about all your paint supplies and things in that area that you use. Then you got to think about the materials you cost. Now, you can buy different patterns like these here, a whole package of them for different prices. It depends on where you get them at. Some's more expensive than others. You can buy them individually if you want to as well. So you got to think about that overall cost. Another thing you have to do is consider your time in it. Okay, I make this piece here. This piece of artwork I'm making is taking me an hour to make it. So if I'm saying $10 an hour, and everybody's price is different, so it takes you an hour to make it, and you want $10 for this piece, then you got to remember you got to subtract the cost of your material and your time. So $10 an hour is your time, but you just spent $5 in material. Let's say you spent $5 in material. Should I or shouldn't I sell this product? Depends on how you go about it. If you're just saying you're home and you work all day and you come home, you're tired, but you're watching TV, the 2 hours you're watching TV, you decide to tinker with some of your stuff. So that's 2 hours you would have wasted if you didn't make it. So it's a lot of what ifs on it. Should I sell my product? First of all, you make sample pieces. Sample pieces is something like this here. These are just sample pieces I weaved here. I want to see here if I would like this. These wires, I get a lot of my wires and stuff from TVs that I recycle. I pick up old TVs, that's the older ones, the wider ones. They still got the harnesses, and I get a lot of different colors out of them. Some of them are copper, some of them are aluminum with color into them. I usually trade the copper ones in, but I do keep some of the copper pieces. I do keep a little bit of the copper. I have this here is what I kept out for crafting. If you go to the hobby stores or whatever, or hardware stores and you're buying copper wire, you know how expensive this can get. This here is wires and things that I have came out of TVs. So there again, you think about, okay, my product. Okay, I want to sell my product, and I enjoy making this one, but I don't like that one because I think it's ugly. Okay, so it's ugly. But the thing is, too, just because you think it's ugly doesn't mean someone else thinks it's ugly. And that's the whole thing in it. Make a couple sample pieces. And sorry about me getting out of focus. I'm playing with my things here. Making a couple of sample pieces and then turn around and see how they would do in selling. Set yourself at a limit. Okay, I want to make 4 of these pieces, and if people like them and they sell, then I know I can make more of these pieces. And it's trial and error on anything. Whether you are going out and harvesting your stuff, and I mean making natural stuff, or you grind herbs or whatever. I've grind different types of herbs as a product, and I find that there's just certain mushrooms I can sell, and there's other mushrooms people will not want to buy online, and I can understand that too. So, but I price it at a fair enough price so I can make my money back on them. Go out and my time is what I do. I'm a multitasker. So what you got to look at is money. So what you're going to do here, when I go out in nature to harvest my herbs, I go out in nature, say I'm going to go out and I'm going to get me some mugwort to dry, and I want to air dry it or whatever. I want to sell it as a tea or a green thing or whatever. But I want to go out and collect mushrooms too. It's that time, season. And there's a certain type of mushroom I know I can sell. I'm going to go out and try to find it. And then there's the insects. I also sell insects in bottles. I make up my solutions thing and I collect them and I sell the insects online. So I try to utilize my time. I'm out there in nature. I'm collecting my mushrooms. I'm collecting my herbs. Maybe I have an order for, maybe someone's wanting some wild ginger. So I got to go out and collect this wild ginger and send it to them. And they want it, they don't want me to grind. They just want me to harvest it, send it to them, and they'll finish it up from there or however they want to do it. So that's what I'm saying is you got to utilize your time. Now, say I'm making these, and these rings right here are all handmade. Those little bronze color, copper color, they're not copper, but they're more of a bronze color. Those are handmade rings that I make. And what I do with this here is these rings came out of a TV that we tore apart. I take and I twist 3 different pieces of the wire because it's aluminum. So, and then I take it, and once it's weaved, like this here, that I've made, I lay it down, and then I'm going to hammer it out. And then when I hammer it out, I'm going to put it around, either put it around my ink pen holder, or I use a paintbrush, whatever you have that you yourself, and then I want to show you, this here is really fairly stiff. You can see here, I'm just bending it right here. The thing is that it's just really what you find beneficial. There's things out there that I have no interest in. It's not something I want to do, but don't have no interest in it, don't want to do it. I'm going to wind up ordering a bunch of these tabs. I do save these up. I started saving them up to make bracelets with or something like that. Then I decided, you know what, I want to make something more than just ordinary bracelet. So that's something you got to think about. First of all, you need to think about your overhead. Are you going to do local craft shows or local art shows or whatever? You have to think about your overhead on that. You also have to think about, are you going to try to do online? Everybody thinks, wow, these people make all this money online. Wow, they're making all kinds of money. I want to tell you something. Most of them don't make a lot. Most of them, it's just where, for whatever reason, they got lucky. They was in it for years. It was not an overnight thing. They posted their stuff on YouTube. They showed it to people, talked about it, or they posted it on their Facebook or their own Instagram, their own countless websites to do this. They're out there with setting up at events and things, so you have to think about do what you want to do. Like, you're going to be in all kinds of weather. If you're doing the smaller shows, you're going to have to expect that you may not have but maybe 200 people show up that day, and you may not sell one item. One item. You might not sell anything. So then you're going to go to the other show and say 100 people shows up. But guess what? You had a good day. Out of that 100 people, you sold enough to pay for your booth space, your gas, your food, and everything. Plus, you got lucky and got some overall custom orders. What do you think if I made this something like this into it? See, this here is just so cool. I like playing with this. So then you got to think about all that. What I've decided here is I've set myself a goal, how many pieces I want to make of each thing, basically. I like to prepare a lot of my stuff, pre-make it. And I don't necessarily put it all together at once. This is just things I'm doing in my time, here and there. I don't put it all together at one time, and there's a reason for it. If I decide I don't want to set it up and make them all at once, because I'm not planning on setting up for a year or so, whatever, but I am going to put some of the pieces back online. Now, I wanted to show you this. These here is the skull embellishments here that I have made. You can see here the different overall patterns here. Let me do it this way. You can see the different overall patterns. You know, I'm going to pull this back. Now, this is something I make and I create. Now, it takes, for me to make these particular paper embellishments, it works fine for these type here with me using the glitter and things like that. I use glue, glitter glue. Just a cheap little $2.50 little tubes that's I get at the dollar store or wherever, and then I use those type to make the eyes with it. I have all different types of glitter that I picked up on sale here and there, and what I do is I create a rotation with it. I turn around and you can see I've been working on crafts. I turn around and I take my little mold and I pick out my glitter, and I want to sprinkle it in there, and then I will decide on whatever pattern I want, and to create these different designs here. Now this is here, I created with a mixture of different techniques here, different pieces here to create this overall effect here. So it takes a little more time than just shoving some stuff down in there and say, hey, I'm done, you know, this is it, I'm good. Now, some of these I've got to trim a little more. You can see here, now this is one here, I took some green tissue paper on top, and I took my white tissue paper on the bottom, and then I gave it some green eyes. I do different colors of eyes in here. Here's another one I put right here. So, it's all about being creative, and then also having enough of the product is something you got to think about in this kind of business. Whether you want to be crafting, whether you want to be an artist. Many people don't get into this until years later. And what that means is that that for whatever reason, you know, you raised your kids, you got your house or whatever. I did this all my life, so I've sold off and on. And it's really more up to you on making a product to sell. If you want to subsidize your income, then you do it. If you don't, you don't. I mean, if you're just doing it because you want to get out and do something, do it. You know, I've rambled on really probably long enough. I just went ahead and did it live. I just thought it'd be easier. But here's the main things you got to look at. Costs. How much is it going to cost you for your supplies? Do samples. Number 2, do samples of them. Buy your sample materials and see if that's what you want. Get your book. Write down what it costs you to buy each piece. Whether you're doing earrings or you're doing soda tabs or you're doing, and break it down what it costs you to make. Number 3, locations. Where am I going to set up at? Am I going to do my time? You know, where am I going to set up at? My time factor. Okay, and then number 4, of course, it's overhead. Say you got to travel somewhere and it's going to take you an hour. You got to allow for your travel time. You got to allow for your gas. And then you got to allow the cost of your food and everything involved. Inventory. How much inventory do I need? As much as you can get. Variety. Do I want a variety of it? Do I want to just sell, say, all of my just soda tab hats and things? Once I get these made, I will most likely sell them for about $75 a piece, because I want to tell you what, it takes a lot of time. I make my rings by hand, so it's going to take me time. Some of them will be more than that, depends on how much work and detailing I put into the pieces. That's something you have to look at. Another thing you have to look at is, do I want to do this show or that show? Do I want to do it? So, another thing is catching things on sale. Saving a little bit of money helps, but never go down on the price. Say you bought all this stuff to make some earrings with, and you sold all those earrings out, and you went back to the store, and those very same beads you bought happened to be on sale. And you got really lucky, and there was a 10% off or a 20% off or a 30%, or they may have discontinued that particular style of bead. Who knows? So you're going to go in there and there's 10 things of beads left. You got them all on sale. You're going to buy them. still charge what you would charge at a retail price. Do never go down. If you turn around and those beads cost you, say, $5 to buy 10 beads. Now, just 10 of them. Say you cost you $5 to buy 10 of them. It's 50 cents a piece. But you got them at on sale for 40 cents a piece. Write down in your book as a retail price. This is what they cost you, because your profit is going to vary. It's going to be up and it's going to be down. So saving a little bit is good if you can save it. Being creative is another thing. Another thing you want to do is go check out some of the shows. Check out some of the craft shows or whatever, and see if that's what you want to do, and then see what other people are doing. I have went to them, and this one person had all these nice, beautiful little earrings, selling them for like $3 a pair and things like that, or 4 for 10 and things. But the thing is, I went 3 moves down, and there was someone with the same type of beads that she had. Same type, almost in the same similar style as the other person had. So there you went right there. Is it's going to happen. And you're going to have people copying other people. You're going to have people following other patterns as well. So it's also something trying to create something you yourself, unique to you, to attract people and to encourage them to come back to your booth to buy. So it's something to think about. Now, I'm a greenhorn on a lot of things, but I'm a back to basics prepper. I do hope in the near future I'm going to launch my Life Prepper Crafting channel. And when I do, I'll be doing several videos when I do it and show you how I do the bleeding effect on my patterns. I want to show you how I create my butterfly embellishments. I will show you how I make my paper embellishments from the molds and stuff. I will show you how to make silicone molds of your own. So I hope within the next few months I will be listing that. That will be separate from my regular Life Prepper channel, where I do, and I want to tell you now, and I'm plugging for me to tell you, I encourage handicapped people and people with limits to do something. If you can't walk, if you're in a wheelchair, if you got severe arthritis or whatever accident, you still can do something beneficial. You can make things with your hands. You can do something. You can get out there. You can learn how to raise your crops in a different way. You can learn how to better take care of yourself. It's not easy. But if you want to craft and you want to sell your supplies and you want to be creative and you want to be an artist, don't let anything hold you back and say, I can do it. This is Life Prepper here. I want you to be safe, be happy. Bless you all.